Hello everyone, welcome back to RetroFat. My name is Jeremy and we are rewatching our way through Just the 10 of Us. We have just finished season 1 and now we are starting with season 2. First episode of season 2, 5th overall. This episode is called Strangers in the Night, directed by Dan Gunselman, written by Kevin Abbott. This episode first aired on October 28th, 1988. So my apologies for this video coming out a little bit late. If you're watching this one in the future or you're seeing it on TikTok, which if you're not watching it on TikTok, you can find me on TikTok at Just the 10 of Us Fan. That's my username. And I'm going to start posting all of these there. But anyway, if you're watching it in the future, you don't know this late. But I'm about like 5 days late. I don't want to get too much into it. It was nothing personal, just in a little bit of a funk. And I wasn't feeling very jovial last week. And wanted to wait until I felt I could laugh again before I really wanted to do a funny reaction to this amazing show. I wanted to give it the attention it deserved. So that is why I have waited till today. I'm feeling better. I'll just say hopefully the world will get better at some point soon. It has to, right? It has to. Okay, let's ignore that and go back to the late 80s, where I think things were better. And let's watch Strangers in the Night.
Thanks. I had a great time. Oh, and don't turn on your headlights. So he doesn't have a brain. Big deal.
Having a good time, Wendy?
Will you look at this shoe? Now Cindy's going to have to buy a new pair.
You borrowed them. You should pay for them.
Well, is it my fault that some thoughtless person left water in the sink? Where's Dad?
Where he always is at this hour, watching the Morton Downey Jr. show.
Attaboy, Mort. Give it to him. Rub his face in it.
Good. Well, good night.
It's a little chilly to be rolling around in the grass with some football player, isn't it?
Is your opinion of me so low that you think I would sneak out in the middle of the school night just to roll around in the tall grass with some boy I hardly even know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I happen to be wearing this grass in my hair as a fashion statement.
If you are ever given a chance to defend yourself in a court of law, don't do it.
You think you are so smart, don't you? Well, what makes you so sure I was out with a football player?
You're still holding his Letterman jacket.
Oh, Connie, please don't say a word about this to anyone.
You can count on me, Wendy.
Oh, thanks. Anytime you want to borrow Cindy's clothes, they're all yours.
Can I count on you to do my laundry chores for a week?
Oh, you little snot bucket. Daddy!
Shouldn't you senoritas be in the sack?
Oh, you're so right. I'm going back to bed. Good night.
Hey, wait a minute. There's a shoe in the sink.
Look at that, Wendy. A shoe in the sink. How did that happen?
Next time you're gonna do this, let me know. I got some sneakers that could use a good cleaning.
Sorry, a little timing there hitting the pause button. So I did just a little quick Google search on my phone because the Morton Downey Jr., that was not a reference that I got. It sounded vaguely familiar, but I thought, am I mixing it up with... Anyway, Morton Downey Jr. had a talk show from 1987 to 1989. Apparently it was like kind of trash TV. So, that's, I think, a very timely dated reference that, unfortunately, I was, again, 10 in 1988, and it kind of sailed right over my head. So, There it is. At first, I thought whenever Connie agreed to, you can count on me, Wendy, I'm like, oh, is this going to be one of, a mischaracterization? But no, she was actually, that is the Connie we know and love. Her next question was, of course, or her next statement was more blackmail. And that absolutely fits. And we see a little bit of that ditziness. Ditzy is not really the right word. Lovable cluelessness, maybe. Just a touch of that the coach has, which apparently has come out full force, or will come out full force in Cindy. He's the other character that we sometimes see that from. And we saw that here with the shoe thing. Okay, back to the show.
Learning the rules of the game. If I can stay on the ball, take it minute by minute, I just might make the Hall of Fame. What can I say? I'm doing it the best I can. Leaning on nobody but me. Oh, seeing it from where I stand. Nothing comes easy. Oh, I'm always bringing home second places. At the end of every one of my daisies, a house with all of the bases that keeps me doing it the best I can. Yeah, I'm doing it the best I can. I'll keep on doing it the best I can.
Sweetheart, you've got to make sure to call her baby.
Last thing I want to do is get pregnant. Which is another reason why I'm considering becoming a nun.
Wendy!
Graham, we don't have time for that now. It's 6 minutes till 8.
Ready? Clay down.
Wendy, let's be real. Let's Well, maybe I understand sex more than you think. Probably not.
Honey, it's 5 till 8.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Surprise inspection. No.
Can I go to the can?
You sure? And take Sherry with you.
What?
Sherry, what your daddy means is that you don't have to go through this
Degradation. Please, can I be degraded like everybody else?
Yeah, sure. If it makes you feel better, get in line.
goody. Honey, it's 4 till 8.
Elizabeth, are you going to be announcing every minute for the rest of our lives?
Is it irritating?
All right, skirt check. Assume the position, ladies.
All right, Connie, very good. The hem just touches the floor. Cindy, good. Wendy, will wonders never cease? Marie, this is more than I could ever hope for.
I like to preserve the mystery.
What about my skirt, Daddy?
Oh, yeah, well, you're just fine until you reach puberty.
So we get the weirdo, I like to preserve some mystery, Marie line here. I'm going to make the case that the degradation comment, I feel like that would have been better suited for Connie. I think Marie would 100% be on board with checking skirt length and making sure everybody's skirts are quite lengthy. I'm also going to point out that Wendy's, Cindy's, and Connie's skirts, the hemline did not touch the floor. There was like an inch clearance. I don't think any of their skirts were even remotely immodest. But still, if that was his role, they clearly did not pass muster there. But this is one of those scenes that plays a little differently today than I think it would have in 1988. Even though, again, former educator, current college professor, dress codes are very much a thing in public schools, and girls absolutely catch the worst of it in a way that's just pretty mind-boggling and unacceptable. But that's a different video for a different channel. All right, back to Just the 10 of Us.
Sorry, Coach. It's just a starting pistol. Say, he's fast. All right, people, settle down. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Coach Lubbock. I have some rather sad news for you. It seems that your teacher, Mr. Geyser, after winning a very large sum of money in the California State Lottery, phoned Father Hargis this morning from Jamaica and retired. But I have some rather good news, trying to cut through the gloom here. Until further notice, I will be his substitute. I think I'm gonna cry. All right, let's pick up where Mr. Geyser left off. It seems you were gonna have a discussion of Othello. So who would like to begin?
I personally found this scene kind of funny. I especially like the little fingers and Coach's smile at the end as he was going for the starting pistol. But I think we can all agree that even with the starting pistol, a scene like this would not in any way, shape, or form make it to air today. Would not happen.
And so, what have we learned today? Peterman.
Jealousy leads to the destruction of what you love. Blind trust is as bad as no trust, and don't mess with Coach Lubbock.
Okay, tomorrow's assignment will consist of each one of you. Hold it. The skinny kid in the back with the peach fuzz. Stand up. Let me narrow this down for you a little bit. The one I expect to stand is the one that tried to pass the note.
Hey, it wasn't my note. I just found it on the ground.
You won't mind reading it for the whole class.
I swear, I've never written a note in class. I don't even take notes in class.
Read it.
But
Read it. Read it. No, you don't. Spit it out. Peterman, read it.
There's spit all over it, sir.
Well, it could have been a lot worse. Read it.
While you were looking at those worn old pictures of Lisa Bonet and her chicken, I spent 2 hours last night up on Old Johnson Road doing the lip tango with the hottest Lubbock babe. What's that word right after babe?
Just look at it.
Well, this is obviously a lie.
A lie?
Now, do you want to destroy this or should I?
Destroy it? No way. This is evidence.
Honey, spreading false tales is as bad as creating them.
Well, it's our daughter's tales I'm worried about.
That note means nothing. All boys lie to impress their friends.
Wrongo. I never did.
Oh, so that story I heard in our senior year about you and Susan Leeper was true?
Of course it wasn't true. It was a complete and total... You heard about that?
Yes, I did. And I think that word that you were searching for is that thing that men never do. Lie.
Look, I've taught hundreds of classes. I've handled thousands of kids. I've taught at 2 schools. Well, maybe I could have left that last part out. All of this has got to count for something. Look, I've got to at least try to finesse a confession out of Wendy or Cindy. I mean, the guilty party. So what do you say? You with me on this?
Well, the vow was till death do us part, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, don't push it.
I hold in my hand a saliva-stained note. Yuck! On this note is a name. One of your names. The name of someone who did something last night that they weren't supposed to. Now, you have a choice. You can either admit what you've done, which we already know, or you can remain silent, thereby compounding your crime.
Assuming this isn't just a tempest in a teapot.
Elizabeth, this is why Columbo works alone.
Thanks for ratting.
I didn't tell him anything.
All right, I'll give you a hint. The person I expect to stand is the hottest Lubbock babe. The one who snuck out of the house last night, went up on Old Johnson Road, and made out with a boy.
Oh, my God.
I was just going to the bathroom.
All right, go. Enjoy. Take a magazine. All right. That's it. I'm counting to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.5.
5.
I did it!
Quite a bit of good comedy to unpack in that scene. First of all, I had to look up Lisa Bonet and the chicken because that was from the classroom scene in the contents of the letter. I could not for the life of me figure out what that was referring to. And apparently it was a scene from a film she did where she played a voodoo priestess and butchered a chicken, or sacrificed a chicken, apparently. Again, one of those references that zoomed right over my head. The bit with JR standing up right at the, hottest Lubbock babe part. It's a good cheap laugh. I enjoyed it. I like that all 3 sisters, except for Marie, stood up, took responsibility, which we'll see how that plays out next.
Wait a minute. You're telling me all 3 of you were out last night parking on Old Johnson Road?
Must have been a big car.
Out! Out, 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 out!
I think I'll go now.
This isn't right. This is one big mistake, right? This is one big silly misunderstanding that we're just gonna laugh our heads off about. Aren't we?
Just tell us whose name is on the note.
Oh, honey, no one's name was on the note. Your father was just making that up. Well, there. See, Graham? I told you they were innocent.
Now, wait a minute. Each one of you stood up for a real reason, and I want to know what it is.
Marie, honey, do you know anything about this?
Only that you shouldn't blame yourselves. You did the best you could with what you have.
Pray for us.
I will.
No, I mean now. Go.
All right, now I want to know what this is all about. Cindy?
All right, Mom, I'll tell you the truth, but you're not going to believe it. See, I didn't sneak out anywhere last night. The only reason I stood up was because, and this may sound like a stupid reason.
I think we can count on that.
The only reason I stood up was because you said that this bad thing had to do with the hottest Lubbock babe, and I do have my reputation to protect, so I just figured...
Cindy, zip your lip!
Wait a minute. Come to think of it, your new sweater has grass stains all over it, and I found your pink shoes soaking wet.
What? Thanks a lot, Wendy. Just see if I lend you my clothes next time you're desperate to drive some hunk wild.
Is this true, Wendy?
Which part?
All right, Cindy, you can go.
I just think that something should be said about borrowing a person's property and returning it.
Now!
But those are really, really expensive shoes. Ouch!
Thank you.
But
All right, Wendy. We know that you stood up because you're guilty of sin. Constance, what did you do?
I was merely engaged in a little social intercourse.
Dad, we were talking.
For a second there, I saw you in a whole new light.
Frankly, I don't see what the big deal is. I was just spending a little time with another human being, one who happened to be male, sitting in his car on a country road, holding each other, staring at the and asking the essential questions.
I know what those essential questions are, and the answer is no, not until I'm married.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that there was no kissing whatsoever?
When we put a sock in it. So let me get this straight. You're telling me there was no kissing whatsoever?
So what if a kiss or two was exchanged?
A kiss or two?
Ah, they were kisses, not from the lips, but from our very souls. It was nothing cheap like you would do.
Cheap? Hey, you got lucky, I got talent. I really don't see the difference.
Wendy, out!
Where the hell do you think you're going? Sit down.
All right, now who was this boy?
Jeff.
Jeff who?
Jeff from school.
Jeff from school who?
I don't know.
Graham, she doesn't even know his last name.
At least I know my guy's last name. It was Harrison. Or was it Harrigan?
Shut up, Wendy.
Well, just for the record, I would like you to know that she was not the only one who talked last night. I did plenty of talking with Bill. Or was it Phil?
Okay, that's it. Both of you up to your room.
This is so unfair.
And what are you waiting for?
Just for the two of you to agree. And I see that you do.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just not all that comfortable talking about all this sex business.
Oh, I know, honey. You aren't even that comfortable doing it.
Right. But why can't kids be just like we were? Stupid, scared, and ashamed. Maybe it's time we put some good old-fashioned, honest, healthy terror into them.
Well, I do know that they are two very different girls.
You know, in the old days, we just take them for a little visit out behind the woodshed. See, maybe that's what that building is out there.
I'm gonna go upstairs and try to reason with Connie.
All right, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of Wendy.
That's my hope.
No.
All right, so rewind a little bit. It was right when I think Connie had left, but or maybe it was as she was leaving, but it was Wendy, Coach, and Elizabeth on the couch. You could see just the barest hint, I think, of the boom mic in the shot. It's the only time I've ever seen an error like that on the show, but I do think I saw it there. Sherry, great line at the start of it about the big car. Sherry was good for getting those kind of zingers in, cute kid, funny line. I think we can clearly identify this episode, first episode of season 2, where Cindy becomes a ditz and Wendy is no longer a ditz, but is a full-blown schemer. This is where that happens. I have talked many times on this series about the chemistry that Bill Kirchenbauer had with Deborah Harmon, as well as the chemistry he had with Joanne Willette. They just played off each other exceptionally well. And that scene here where Connie was literally rubbing his head, that was hysterical. I don't see that playing nearly as well with any of the other kids on the show, but Connie, through Joanne, nailed it. That was excellent.
Oh, we are not giving up until we get an answer.
Hey, stop it! I'm praying here.
No. Well, Connie, all I'll tell you is that I had an intellectually exciting and emotionally satisfying experience. Yeah, but did you have fun?
What Cindy is trying to ask is, did you make out with this clown?
A shallow, simplistic question from a shallow, simplistic person.
Yeah. So what's the answer?
All right, girls, I'll tell you. Hey, you guys.
Now, Sherry, they're having a private conversation.
Go on. I thought you were praying for my soul.
It was a short prayer. Go on.
Well, my time with Jeff was a time of sharing. The stars, the sad song of the lonely crickets, the night breeze cool against our skin, and talk, real talk about life and philosophy and how the world will probably be annihilated before we're 20.
I got a hickey.
Why am I talking to you?
You want to see it?
Your father might. Downstairs.
to see me, Daddy?
Yeah. There's some things about boys and girls you and I have to talk about.
Dad, I've already had your sex lecture.
Now, obviously, the hockey analogy didn't sink in. Sit down. So, I suppose I'm going to have to cut to the chase.
Chase? Ooh.
Just listen. Now, I'm going to have to use some words here that you don't usually hear in mixed company. Dating is like a baseball game. Girls are on one side, and boys are on the other. Except in the game of dating, girls are only allowed to play defense. Now, every boy dreams about knocking one out of the park. And when you sneak out late at night without telling us, you're not only giving that guy a big leadoff, but you can't call in your big righty if he happens to hit a bloop single. You gotta think of them all as Casey at the bat. And it's your job to make sure that there's no joy in Mudville, ever.
So where is this Mudville?
So we kissed a little bit, a natural convergence of our incredible spiritual passion.
Are those his words?
Basically,
Basically?
well, I said them, but he nodded.
Well, what did he actually say?
He said he thought I was a total babe. Okay, he didn't say much, but it was the way he didn't say it, Mom.
Honey, is it possible that you had an intense emotional and intellectual conversation that he just agreed with?
Mother, you are trying to turn something sensitive and beautiful into something Wendy would do.
No, honey. I'm not comparing you to Wendy at all.
Well, I sure hope not.
Because what you did was much worse.
What?
Wendy's just a little wild, but she doesn't get all wrapped up in these guys. Connie, you put your heart on the line.
So you want me to be more like Wendy? Fine. Schedule the lobotomy.
Look, I want to make you a deal. You can make all your own decisions. But before you act on them, I just want you to promise me that you'll come and talk to me first. Just give me a chance to make sure you're seeing correctly.
So, you mean I can basically do whatever I want? I just have to talk to you first?
Right?
In person?
Right. So if the quarterback is trying an end run, I should let my backfield handle it.
No.
I should call a timeout.
Forget sports altogether.
Well, what if I just promise never ever to do it again? Or something like that. Dad?
Wendy, it's time I let you in on a little secret. You see, God has given fathers a very special secret gift. You see, whatever you're doing, no matter where you are, God lets me know what you're doing.
You're putting me on.
Nope. So you don't have to promise me anything. You see, wherever one of my little girls is holding hands, I'll be there. Anytime one of you is in the back seat of a car with a boy, I'll be there. Or if some boy is spouting off in a locker room about any of you, I'll be there too. And deep inside, you'll know it. Every time you turn around or look over your shoulder, you'll swear you see me ducking behind a telephone pole. And when you start walking again, you'll swear you hear my footsteps behind you close enough to hear your every thought. For example, right now you're thinking, boy, if this is like true, I can't get away with diddly.
I got a little wrapped up and forgot to pause. First of all, I love the sports analogies that Graham was using with Wendy. Those were great. But to me, the most powerful scene was Elizabeth talking with Connie and basically saying, telling her like, hey, what you did was actually way worse because you got invested in a person who wasn't at all invested in you. And I think that was, that was insightful. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that. Deb Harmon was such an amazing mom on this show. I really believe it when I say that Elizabeth was the best TV mom of this era. Best TV parents right here. And things like that, that was what did it, because there wasn't special music that played and they all hugged and there was a lesson learned. It was just, it felt authentic.
I have Connie's word that she'll talk to me before she does anything disgusting or deeply meaningful.
Well, not too bad, honey.
So, how'd it go with Wendy?
Well, with Wendy, I took a slightly different approach.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm kind of ashamed, but what the hell? I told Wendy that I have some sort of a sixth sense, and that I can tell what she's doing whether I'm around or not.
And she believed it?
Uh-huh. Well, the old coacharoo is quite a trickster. Cindy? What the hell are you doing up at this hour of night?
I was just making sure the front door was locked.
Well, get back in bed right now. The nerve of that kid. Wait a minute. Maybe I do have a sixth sense. Maybe I can read minds.
Oh, honey.
No, wait a minute. Let's see if I can tell what you're thinking right now. I got it? Shut up, turn off the light, get back in bed, you sexy devil.
All right, so I have just really one last thing I want to talk about, and this is something that I think back in the 80s, I may have wondered if I missed an episode, because in the last episode of season 1, Elizabeth was pregnant, and in this episode, we have baby Melissa, whose name was not even said in this entire episode here, as the 10th member of the family. And I don't know, maybe the point was when you have this many kids, another birth isn't a big deal. So it never paid off in any kind of like, let's go to the hospital and have another baby kind of way. But I would have liked to have seen that. Of course, I'm at the point where I would be happy with any extra, just the 10 of us we could. We only had 47 episodes, but we're going to keep doing this. I have a few more left until we're caught up, and then I'm going to start recruiting people to do some reactions with me. If you've already expressed interest, if you've already told me you would, we'll do it via Zoom over some weekends coming up. But I want to hear what you all have to say about these episodes as well, and we'll just keep watching until we're tired of it, and hopefully that'll never happen. So I do want to share. I have a TikTok channel, I guess, TikTok account. Username is just the 10 of us. So username is just the 10 of us fan, all spelled out. The 10 is written TEN, not numerical. And that's just these episodes, these reactions, exactly what is here, but reframed so it fits on a phone screen. Hopefully to reach a little bit of a bigger audience. Not that, again, I'm not trying to make any money, but I want just 10 of us out there because we need a sequel series. And the more people who see it, the higher the chance we have of that happening. So if you're on TikTok, I would highly encourage you to check that account out. I hope to get some videos up there tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, the 29th of June. But the account's there, even if there's no videos, you can go ahead and follow it and know that some episodes will be going up there. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.